Hi, Karin.
Hi, Stefan. How beautiful to see you today.
Yeah, very beautiful. We have now 3 cameras. It's very hot outside, and we have a hot topic as well today. It's leading in the digital age. That's the theme, and we want to talk a little bit about what it means to be a leader in this complex days in the digital age, etc. pp. So it's about complexity, it's about speed, it's about disruption. But first of all, what is shifting, Karen?
So, everything around us is shifting. If you look at working with AI, digitalization, being in global markets, the speed of how we work, which has never been faster than before. So, everything around us is shifting. How can we think that leadership does not shift?
Mm. So the leadership term, when I read about leadership these days, I feel, oh, we have talked about this 10 years ago and it's maybe still not applied, right? So is it maybe an opportunity for us to revive the leadership topics, leadership trainings, etc. pp?
What are you reading about?
I'm reading at the moment, it's really around AI topics. It's about these kind of things, but no one's really talking about radical leadership anymore. Like radical communication. Maybe it's just my feed. Maybe your feed is full of leadership posts and articles, etc. pp. But I feel the hype curve of leadership team trainings went down a little bit, and people are in the weeds of trying to find out how to stay competitive.
Yeah, what I often find is the question, are leaders still needed? Because there is now, there's currently this trend of dismantling the management layer and getting to more self-organized teams. And of course, the question comes up: what's the value that management adds, that leadership adds? And we should not confuse the two. So management is also where you have a topic of administration in it. Management is like power that is distributed from the top and instituted, and managers have a group of people in their team that they're responsible for. They're responsible for their careers, and they have formal might over what they do and over the people itself. So they can hire them, they can fire them. They're responsible for their salary, the salary increases, their goals, etc.
And we're now 2 years, about roughly around 2 years into the AI journey and the generative AI journey. A lot of people say people will be replaced, have fear on your job. We talked a little bit about this in a previous episode. I read a study, I will put that in the show notes, that at this point in time, only programmers and designers are more at the risk. And they were diving in and finding out why. Why is it like this? And they found out that still the processes and the ways of working we're currently applying are complex. They cannot be repeated very easily by AI. Of course, they can be supported. They can be supported by digital tools that always have been, right? But we still have these historical patterns, the historical processes which we need to work on. So maybe the role of a digital leader or a leader in the digital age is now to look at these processes and to bring people along. So not to replace them by AI, but to support them, right?
Yeah. And to the point before, so the difference between a manager and a leader, you will always have leaders. So leaders are the people that come to lead a group without having formal might.
Yes.
And if you think back to when you were in school, and you had around 30 pupils in your class, there was always groups that formed themselves, and these groups had a leader, and he was not formally elected or given any power by the teacher or whatever. It's just in the human nature that we have leaders which we follow to reach something bigger than ourselves, our own spark. And if you combine that now with what you just said, the changes that come with AI, AI will never replace a leader. I mean, a leader is someone that brings together people, that takes care of them, that takes care that they march into one direction together, that they build something great together. And AI can never unite people.
Hopefully not. Maybe they can at some point. And it's used as a therapist already by some people. It's used as a best friend. And I just read it. It's the next threat to our kids and the next generation, because they were so consumed by social media, and we kind of missed how to react to it. And now they interact a lot with chatbots, etc. pp. So, but I agree that maybe we can use it as an opportunity to bring together people again, to create room for creativity, and to use it. And you see it with us, right? We also said we want to support a lot of our processes with AI. Still, the creative part is with us. Of course, a ChatGPT and Gemini, etc., can support us in creating a structure or a draft, but the real new thing maybe still comes from us.
I mean, you have to prompt the AI. It's not like AI comes to you in the morning and says, I was thinking, I have a new idea for the business. We should do this and that. No, you have to prompt it first, and then it gives you a response. It's like an employee that stands around and has nothing to do, and that you can leverage for doing tasks.
And even there's a few, how are the influencers called on LinkedIn?
The influencers on LinkedIn.
Linkfluencers?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Are there influencers on LinkedIn?
I don't know. But there's certainly people who have more followers and get more likes on LinkedIn, right?
Yeah.
So if you haven't followed Tostep, please follow Tostep.
I want to become a LinkedIn influencer.
Please, we want to become LinkedIn influencers. No, but there is even people, I won't say the name now, but they generate ideas with AI, and they say, hey, you can come here and you can get 500 business ideas for free. It's like, okay, fine, but if we take a walk later for lunch, we probably come up with 5 ideas, 10, 20 ideas for a business, but the core, the magic is in the execution and the implementation, right?
Yes.
So when we think about this digital leadership, it's about having the vision how technology can support it, and then activating the energy. And activating the energy is a very human thing. It's not something you can create with AI. You can even see it when you go into a meeting and you put up a screen. Attention goes down very quickly, right?
Yeah. So the role that the leader is occupying shifts.
Yes.
And we don't want to go back to having the old type of leaders who are micromanaging, who are telling you exactly what to do and then controlling whether you were executing exactly that. That's not what we want to go back to. No. I like the new roles of leaders, where you have the coaching aspect of it, facilitating workshops together with the team, catalyzing evolutions, catalyzing results, and enabling effective change.
Yeah.
And we need that because we have more than enough change around us, and it's not going to go away. So we have to be adaptable. And if we want to have adaptable teams, we need to have effective leaders who can take us by the hand and help us to get through with it. Who don't come in and say, oh, I have the answer to the problem.
And we don't have.
And to come in and say, I don't have the answers, but let's work on it together and find out what might be something that we want to try.
And you can even observe it when you're in the office, when you're on site somewhere, and you see the people with a certain leadership task in a certain management level, they're connecting more naturally with people. They go, maybe they are in a meeting room, but if you join in the conversation, it's really about what are you currently working on? How can I support you with this? And then the feedback question is, but what is the next step? What is the vision? What is our position in the organization? Something along those lines, right? So it's about giving people the security they need. So the leader takes the human aspect out of it, and he gives them like the confidence. So, hey, you can continue. It's good, right? But also, and I had this situation just on Tuesday actually, where we have this strong implementer and they are in the depth of technology, and we have this conversation and suddenly we feel, wow, maybe we haven't thought about the use case, the scope in the correct way. Is this really something which is adding value? So what I've done is I created a circle of, and in this case it was leaders, to say, hey guys, do we still want to work on this? In which form do we want to work on this? And I guess these conversations will become more and more important, right? So you
be able to pivot quickly,
to be able to pivot, and to be also to have an open mindset. So in this call, no one was like, no, we have to do this. No. Okay, no, I understand. So from it came from a technical point of view, like it was a vector store topic, right? So we had a use case, and there was like we tried to ingest data. And it was like, wait, but this is completely different data. How do we want to treat the data? Who are our customers? So you go from this kind of data challenge to this could be our customer. This is a value add challenge. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think what often is also the topic, does this happen if we're all remote? Would this conversation be the same? Do we need to be more co-located? What is the model that works? And I think that's also a generational aspect that comes with it. So if you ask younger people, millennials and millennials, the younger people, especially if you ask Gen Z, they would say, oh no, they enjoy it around the office, especially if they're new to a company. It's first going to the office, getting to know people, getting to know the vibe, and seeing people, getting input. And for older generations like Generation X and the baby boomers, they enjoy more working from home. They say they're more productive there. They have what they need in their homes. They don't need to go out and get more input. They are more productive to produce outputs when they're calmly alone and just join remotely to meetings.
So I think about this conversation. I see this surrounding of people working in a coffee shop, for example, having the buzz around, or a co-working location. And it's a really good question on how can we design the workspace to be more productive, because I don't see the open layout necessarily by default will help the team to foster. It almost is like maybe also the team needs to be co-located. If you're in an office, you need to be co-located, close, not co-located. You know what I mean, like closely together, because it's mostly the conversations you overhear. But then now we have this policy that people have to go into a meeting room, so you don't even overhear any conversation. I think back 5 to 10 years when I had this big team of 12 people, I was sitting with them, we were working on different projects, but I was available, I was there, and I was overhearing conversations, right? I heard emotions and stuff like this. This cannot happen online.
Yeah, you were in the past. You had collisions, you met different people when you went to the elevator and stuff.
And this is where it really adds value. I have a really interesting vision. I don't know if it's a bit weird. I don't know. I don't think you will know it. But when you go to Amsterdam and there's a festival or a party or something, I don't know if it was Amsterdam. I don't recall. But there's a city and you have a problem. You have to go to the toilet, right?
Yeah.
Karen's face is like, where are you going with this? And for men, we have the urinal, so it's very nice to go to urinal because it's very quick. So they have cities where they either put like a urinal. I don't know if you have seen this one. They have like 4 slots. Like it's
like a cubicle that is split into quarters.
Into quarters, right? But it looks like an alien building somehow. I don't know.
Okay.
And somehow it goes out of the floor when it's very technologically, and then it goes down. You know? So I'm thinking this could be not the urinal, but like you have the desks organized in these 4 ways. You don't have to pee, you know.
And then you pee in it.
you don't know how much conversations I have in the like. Okay, it's maybe too private, but like you have a lot of conversations, and you know it's also like historically and from an evolution perspective.
You want to see your colleagues.
I want like these small groups would allow us. Like if you could dream, we could have like a glove above it, right? So if you want confidential, you just press a button and then you have the glove above it and you can have the conversation, right? But it's not like these desks next to each other. It's like little islands. They can even be bigger, but have like have a round table, have an island. Maybe have like in business class like this. I'm dreaming now, right? But maybe I should ask ChatGPT to do it or Google Veo to create this video. But you know that you can have this sit together, like 5 to 6 people, and then you have some distance to the other teams, right? And this can be modular, so you can put it away. You know, like it's a super interesting concept. But what I see in the offices now, I don't think it will work.
Well, yeah, it's all in flux, and it's going back and forth.
Yeah.
And I think what matters is not to have the same thing every day, to have the same routine, not to go into the office every day, but also not to stay at home every day. To be flexible, to adapt it to your life, to your lifestyle. I really enjoy this, where this was going the last years, that you really can morph together your life and your work life and arrange your calendar how it works best. And also then to come together for specific events. To, for example, say, now every month we will have a workshop together, a team workshop, and we will come together for a whole day and work together in this space on specific things.
Yeah.
So you will really create events for that, create events you're looking forward to, and you're reconnecting with the team.
But that's the point, right? Looking forward to. I remember one event location we have been in Turkey. It was already a good location, but we have also checked for an alternative location, and I still have it in my mind. I still have the flyer in my mind, by the way, like because it was designed like an open space floor, but you don't have the floor was empty, and you had like stairs, like in an auditorium where you can sit on. So what I'm saying is, it also needs to be a bit inspiring to have the meeting there. The environment really dictates the performance there,
Yeah.
and then you have to really work on topics which are passionate for the group, right?
Yeah.
And I'm also thinking about the evolutionary working together, men and women. I don't know if I told you about this, but now we're sitting next to each other. Men, evolutionary, like they sit next to each other like this, like in this layout, and they talk because they were maybe sitting at the fireplace when they were in this age, right? So maybe also we have to find these opportunities so people can sit next to each other, look at something. So yeah, maybe we should open a company to create office design spaces.
I feel it's a passion of yours. Maybe you should dig deeper there.
A big dig deeper. But we should be careful, right? So there's a mix between being productive,
Yeah.
being creative, and creating an impact.
Do you know these people who just type away on their computer to appear busy? I mean, they appear productive, they come in early, they stay late. And sometimes I think, what do you want to tell me? I mean, are you showing off with how long you can stay and type in front of your computer?
Yeah.
So I'm not buying into that. Being
Busyness.
productive is the same with being busy and yeah, typing and where is the time that you can really think about stuff? So
Yeah.
we should really not confuse being productive with making an impact. So impact is really outputs created, literally the outputs, and there's no element of time in measuring impact.
It could also be unblocking a person in the team, right? So if you're a team lead and you talk to this team member and they have a very big problem at work or private, and you have a conversation outside in a coffee or sitting somewhere, and they're unblocked, they're more productive in the next day. That's impact, right?
Yeah.
But that's not productive. That's where maybe AI will come in. So productivity is a blue world, generating stuff, creating a website, creating a flyer. Creativity is where we have to think about what do we want to say. Then there's a kind of in between a translation, and then making impact is really making work, going out, talking to people, right? I like these three. I have to note that down.
That's really the case. So I think the important stuff today is to shift the mindset also of the leaders. So there are far too many micromanagers still out there. Make sure to get rid of them because I know a lot of people that left their workplace because they felt oppressed. They got a text if they were 5 minutes late after lunch. Where have you been? Where has
really? Wow.
Yeah, it's really what's happening is crazy. I mean, it's 2025 and it's still happening. So there really needs to be a mindset shift.
Yeah.
And leaders need to understand that it's their responsibility to create these adaptable teams. So it's not enough if you have a high-performing team. That was nice 15 years ago. Now we're talking about adaptable teams.
And performing, the word isn't productive. What did you say the second word?
High-performing teams.
High-performing team, high-impact teams, maybe.
I said adaptable teams. Yeah.
High adaptable, high creative impact teams. That's what you need, right?
Yeah.
Because performing is really doing.
Performing is creating output.
Exactly.
But being adaptable is more. You need to be able to arrange yourself, be agile to what happens next, and then pivot, because you cannot create the same output anymore if your market is changing. So you need to change with it. What do your customers want? Do they require a different product? Do they require a different service? And then be able to create that very, very swiftly.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense to me. Also, I think one day what needs to be changed is emotional intelligence and empathy in the leaders. It will be more important when we have machines supporting us, right? What is behind someone not doing their task? What is behind someone being grumpy? Go behind. Maybe you have more time to do that now. Maybe the human connection becomes more important. And when I think about the Generation Z, and I have conversation with Generation Z, they really want to feel safe and secure. They want to feel that they can make an impact in the workspace. So performing, being there at 9 a.m. is not even that important anymore. They want to create an impact. Also, on the flip side, and I don't want to speak for them, but maybe we should invite one. But they need a routine, right?
To give them stability.
And the routine can be designed by them, but they need to, and everyone needs a routine. I need a routine too. It's not a generational thing, right? But I can, if someone asked me as a leader, it's an invitation. If I see this in a leadership role and I feel this person needs a routine or this needs a regular touch point or something, it's my responsibility as a leader to set it up. Yeah. It's not the responsibility of the team member.
Well, I would question that. I would say it's a shared responsibility. It's not,
depending on the level, maybe.
It's not the one or the other.
Yeah.
It should also be the teammate who says, oh, I need more structure, I need a routine, I need bi-weekly one-on-ones or whatever.
Yeah.
They should be able to set it up.
It
should not be that they can say, no, I was waiting for you as my manager to do it. No, it's in your responsibility to also say what you need.
But this is something you need to talk about as a leader, right? This, you have to give permission.
Yeah.
We have a strong case. Some of our customers, he wants to do a lot of data-informed decisions, right? He wants to really know what's going on. And in this kind of business, where we have a lot of KPIs and numbers, it makes sense. But still, I feel it's almost a magic, and I haven't cracked it yet. Because if you track a KPI, I feel people can challenge it, or they can not manipulate it, but they will work towards it. You know, like, I don't know how to explain it. If you set a KPI or an objective, people would work towards it.
I mean, that's why they are set. That's the intention of setting goals and KPIs.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is you need to be careful what you set as a KPI.
Yes.
Right? So you need to be super careful.
Yeah.
If for example, if you set a KPI which is on performance, or what did we say, outputs, if people can create 5 outputs, but they would not necessarily make an impact with that output.
Yeah. So
that's where OKRs come in the classical sense, to set not an output but an outcome. And it's an art. Huh?
Well, it comes back to what do you measure, and if you have the wrong KPIs, it will go nowhere. But for example, imagine if you had a KPI around experiments conducted and not around experiments that were successful. So you would animate your team really to go out and think more holistically and just go ahead and try stuff.
So it's about, what do you want the team to animate? What do you want the team to animate? Like, what do you want the team to do?
Yes. They are basically what makes your goals get some traction. These are the KPIs, yeah. So
for example, if we have a customer who wants to create more sales, and they have a team, a delivering team and a sales team, what KPIs would you think are good examples? Or is there also no blueprint?
Well, what I know from a lot of companies is they measure how many sales calls did the salespeople conduct.
But that is not results, right?
Exactly. That is like the wrong KPI. And you don't know, okay, is one salesperson better than the other? What is the outcome of it? So one better KPI would be, of course, how much sales was conducted, what was the outcome? And also you need to give them the right input, right? So you need to empower them with, do they have the right tools that they need, that they can sell? Do we have the right assets that they need?
Customer insights, references, etc. PP. Do they have the proper training? Yeah.
Yeah. And also offer them like some coaching.
Yeah. Or training, yeah.
Yeah.
Coaching or training.
And they're not in it alone. So sales is not like a one-person activity. They need input from a lot of different departments. So it's the entire company's responsibility to do sales and to help that people and to think about, okay, how can we get this done? It's our job to do the sales together. It's not only the job of the person cold calling people in the end.
It's a shared responsibility, right?
Yes.
And in that case, the data I'm collecting, how can I use it to I don't know, interesting, judge performance? You see, we have this yearly performance reviews, mid-performance reviews. It's again all about performance. It's not about being creative or making an impact. For me, being creative is failing, creating ideas. Performance is maybe executing this, right? So how can I measure the KPI? Like, which KPIs do I need to measure?
Well, that's what you said in the beginning, right? You said where you as employee want to go, how you want to develop, and then you said also, of course, the parameters against which
Yeah.
can be measured. So if you want to be better at sales, did you take the training? What was the output? And you measure again what came out of it. What were the challenges? What were the insights? So we are moving really away from the traditional yearly review or performance review, and also the 360-degree review and stuff like that. And it's more of your journey. What did you learn? Reflect on it. You need some introspection and reflection, and share it with your manager to get other perspectives.
But I'm a critic now. I mean, this is not the academy; it's a company. They still have to help me create revenue and profit.
They do.
So what you're telling me now, it sounds like it's an academy and it's something where they could just be for themselves. How do I make sure these two are linked, companies and individual objectives?
I think that's the best part, because normally you should only work for a company if the company's goals align with your own goals. And from my experience, there's always an overlap. And you have to look for that overlap, because then you find also motivated people. You find people who want to work on that because they see for themselves something that they can get out of it.
And I asked this question, but of course I have also some input about it. These kind of cascaded goals, what happened really is that there is company goals and company strategies. And we had this last year, right? That some clients told us, oh, our Workday, it's a tool to manage objectives, just got populated with objectives. Like, okay. So they had to follow. There's no accountability, no ownership. So the conversation is important. What is the company goals? What is the department goals? What is the strategy? And what are my goals? How do I contribute it? And what is my career path, right? And then I can measure this. And that's how it gets interlinked. And the good thing is you don't have to motivate people, because you talk openly. And that's what, for example, what I did when I was in my leadership roles was like, what do you want to do? Let's forget about the company for the time being. Where do you want to develop? Where do you want to grow? If you want to leave here in 2 or 3 years, just let me know. But maybe we have an opportunity for you in the company. And that always created like this open discussion, right? Because if you have a big company, there's always an opportunity to move somewhere.
Yeah.
Not always.
It requires growth.
Yeah.
Only if the company is growing, you get new opportunities.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. So growth is a good buzzword. So we have to be growth minded, so to speak. We have a growth mindset, learning mindset, and we say it like it's easy, but it's not, right? It's very hard to stay in this growth mindset, to not get frustrated.
Yeah, I think the default matter is to have this scarcity mindset, right? Where we think, okay, there are not enough resources for every one of us, and we need to battle to get to our piece of the cake.
Yeah. I don't remember who said it, but if you have a $20 bill, if you need a $20 bill, and you're in the world economy, you're almost certain that you will be able to get the $20 bill. Someone needs someone to do something for you. And this is the same in the company. It's the same in outside of the company, but it requires a lot of work sometimes to be aware what you're doing, what you're offering, etc. pp. Right?
Yeah.
So that was the fourth. So we have to be adaptable, emotionally intelligent, data informed, and growth minded. That's basically the new mindset of the leaders, right? So when we have these leaders now, they also want the team to be high impact teams, right? Dynamic, robust, creative, high impact teams, right?
They want to have, of course, successful teams. Yeah.
Honestly, they want to have a successful company. And that is defined by however they define success. Of course, financially, it will be profit, it will be good revenue.
Part of it, yeah.
Part of it. But they need to define this, they need to be clear around it, and then they can support it. So you already talked about experimentation, that's one part. Safe space projects, maybe. What else?
I think it really comes down to the team level. You need to make sure that your teams perform and they perform well. And not just have one of those high performing teams, but a lot of those bubbles where they can get shit done. So you can just confront them with a challenge and, okay, so they will figure out a way how to get it done. And you need to enable them and give them the space so that they're free to do so. So one element is this experimentation point, that they are also allowed to fail with stuff. They are supposed to experiment, allowed to fail, learn from it, stand up and just get the job done. Try again.
And because we talk about digital leaders, digital teams, they need to be digital. I like the word digital savvy or digital fluent. So they don't need to know the technical details. They just need to know how to work with it, how they can support it. If you're developing an AI project, of course you need to know some terms, right? But otherwise we're saying AI, we could also say technology, the new technology which is available. So they need to leverage it. And of course, not everything has to be solved with a new tool. The process is more important, but maybe it's more from an outside point of view. So when I look at what my other competitors, partners, etc. are doing, what are they leveraging to be more successful and add more value for the customers at this point in time? What do I need to learn from that, right? So it's not digitalization, it's more digital transformation.
I think digitalization, technology, whatever, is just a tool. And you have your toolbox and you should know which tool you can use for what. Yeah. And these tools are helping you to produce better outputs, faster outputs to get ahead and reach your goals. And you should be aware of which tools do you have in your toolbox and what can you use them for.
Okay, good. So just very concretely, what are a couple of steps leaders can do to set up their team, to make their team ready, to spread this new mindset of high impact teams?
So first, if you want your team to be more than just a group of individuals, get them together and form trust along them. So they need to know each other. They need to know the strengths of the other people in the group. They need to know where everyone wants to go, how they can contribute to it. And trust each other, that they can just fall back if someone has not a strong day, that they can call on the others. And also in our days and age, we have often globally spread teams, which doesn't make it easier, but it's the reality. So in the beginning and on regular intervals, you want to make sure that you get together in one room with everyone. So you will have workshops where you focus more and more also on the relationships between the people. Because producing outputs can be done when you spread. But when you come together, you want to work on the magic and build the magic of teamwork between them.
And I also, just to add on this, I also believe that it needs to be real life challenges, real life problems they have, that they solve something together, that they crack the nut.
Yes.
And not the trust fall. We've talked about that already, but like maybe if you can find one problem, what can you solve as a team? What are your strengths? Right?
Yeah. And also, if you cannot solve it, there's value in getting together and talking about it, seeing new perspectives. Sometimes a problem needs some time to be able to be solved because it needs an external environment factor that factors into it. That's not there yet. So you cannot force it by coming together and working on it. But you can bring it along, and it creates value still talking about it and trying to find a way to work together.
Okay.
Of course, if you're globally spread, you need to also respect each other's schedules. So make sure that you have like a weekly slot at least where you can come together and talk to each other about progress and stuff, because you don't want anyone feeling left behind and isolated in the group. That's the worst case.
Yeah, and these meetings can be very daunting if you don't like find good topics, but it's an opportunity, it's an invitation for people to come, right?
I think it's easy if you're really working on something together.
Yeah.
There are so many teams that I've seen which are like pretend teams because they're not working on something together. They are actually just a group of people, and it's fine if you just let them be a group of people. But if you are really working on something together, you want to achieve an output,
Yeah.
then you will always have enough topics to discuss in the meetings.
Yes, and it creates a certain energy in the meeting, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so to wrap it up, what does leadership mean in the digital age? It means that we define our roles newly, we adapt our mindset, we're more adaptable, we have more emotional intelligence involved, and we create structures for people to meet. We use AI not as a trend, just use it as a technology to create a better work environment and create better outputs, but also not only performance outputs, but also creative outputs, ideas. And also the last one, the impact. So how can we make an impact as a team? How can we create value within inside the company and outside? That's it. Thank you very much for listening to the Workplace Shift. If you found this helpful, leave us a like. And also we will link in the show notes a link to the article and the transcript of this episode. Thank you very much and have a good day.
That's the end of our episode. If you liked this, please like, share, and subscribe.